Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. And this watch is a modern classic, launched in 2001, and now something of a cult watch. You're looking at the Cartier Roadster, an automotive-inspired modern-day Cartier that looks like something Louis Cartier himself might have envisioned had he been around in the 21st century. Now, these have always been cult watches. These have always been highly regarded by men who love Cartier watchmaking. And often, this has been the most requested revival. When I ask people what Cartier form or case would you like to see brought back, the Roadster is always in the top three, and that's among hardcore watch collectors and Cartier boffins. Here's the thing, though. With the sudden emergence of Cartier as a watchmaking superpower in just the last 3 years, I no longer talk about this as a cult watch. This is now a watch that represents the best of the only brand that can truly claim to challenge Rolex for iconic design and real heritage. These have gone from a cool watch to own and a cult watch to something that might actually have a real future as an investment. So the Roadster in my hand is pretty much the standard model, neither too large nor too small. It's a men's watch in steel with a unique tonneau form featuring Frenched taillights, just like you'd find on a car, faired lenses, bumper overriders, all sorts of automotive imagery, right down to the dashboard-style clock, tachometer, or speedometer-style dial. This watch is simply redolent of 1950s Roadster imagery. In steel, it's a difficult watch to measure, but roughly 37 millimeters wide, not including the crown, 9.9 millimeters thick, and from lug tip to lug tip, 44.3 millimeters, and from end link to end link, 53.1 millimeters across the wrist. We'll throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, and you can see fits quite nicely. The bracelet links actually have a pre-curvature to them, so once around the wrist, the look and the feel is incredibly organic and natural. On my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, you can see even though the end link to end link distance is quite broad, the lug to lug is short enough that I could easily recommend this for a wrist as small as 14 centimeters circumference. A woman can wear this. It is a men's watch, but a woman can wear this. It's also super flat. You'll have no trouble fitting it underneath the cuff, but in steel, automatic, well loomed, and 100 meters water resistant. Make no mistake, it's a sports watch. Take one last look here, as well as over the top, where you can see the lugs are nowhere near the edge of my wrist. The bracelet's a lovely piece. This watch actually does come with a leather strap that you can swap onto the timepiece by using the quick release lug system. This was one of the first watches to be launched with a purpose-built integrated quick release system. So if you want to swap between straps and the bracelet, that is very easy to do. And this watch does come with an extra leather strap. And I should mention it also has 2026 service documents from Cartier. So this watch was serviced by Cartier this year, if you're watching this in 2026. You can see that there are quite a few removable links here, including an intermediate link. So if you find yourself in between sizes, you've got this one. A Cartier screws are often articulated to add a lot of flexibility and souplesse to bracelets, and that's definitely the case here. You can see it has a center channel and set, and it's actually somewhat below the plane of the flanking links. It is a surprisingly nuanced bracelet. There's a lot going on here design-wise and ergonomically. Just pop this right back in. It's very easy to use. We've got a friction fit double deploying clasp. You can see Cartier signed internally. These snap shut on both sides. That's how that works. And you can see every link is removable, so you should be able to find the right size. If you want more adjustability, put it on the strap. Again, we have that overrider-style Dagmar-inspired crown, the faired lens that acts as a magnifier for our date. These look like recessed or Frenched taillights. If you want to know what that looks like, check out early 50s custom Mercuries, or maybe like a 1949 Lincoln Cosmopolitan. You'll see what I mean. We also have this lovely tonneau-like form. It's got an organic tapered end-to-end look like a lead sled hot rod of the 1950s. And then it looks like something you'd find on the dashboard of a 1950s Jaguar, Porsche, or Mercedes-Benz. Speedometer, tachometer, maybe a clock, and it is gorgeous. There's no shortage of lume either. And you can see that the watch is a true sports watch in that regard. And it is completely lumed, so you can see all the indices and the hours. Inside, we have a high-grade probably top grade, ETA 2892A2. You can see on the reverse 100 meters water resistant, and the movement features a couple of features such as stop seconds, also because it's an ETA 2892 base. There's a quick set, and you can see that the numerals on the disc are actually asymmetrical to fit the trapezoidal form of the date window. It's a bidirectional winder with 42-hour power reserve, 21 joules, and a 4 hertz beat rate. Again, once a cult watch and widely admired, this is now something like an emerging 2000s icon of a company that is now as strong as any in the business. Cartier has become the only viable challenge to Rolex for brand equity and sales dominance, and so modern Cartier niche watches and cult classics are moving into the mainstream of the watch collector sphere. So if you want one, I would recommend getting one now. Reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.